Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to fellow YouTubers, Facebookers. Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Rita. Now, I have a story for you that might be interesting. By the way, I'm not supposed to be doing this, so no one gives me any flack, okay? It's my life. Now, why I haven't surfaced in so long is, let me tell you. One night I was making up some tuna fish with mayonnaise. That's the only way I eat tuna fish. I don't touch tuna fish sandwiches otherwise. I'm picky. Anyways, there's tuna fish in oil and tuna fish in water. Well, we mixed the two. Anyways, I got done with dinner, and at first I thought I was having indigestion. I took some antacid. Now, mind you, the antacid didn't work. Chloe, of course, was going on and on and on and on about Medicare and Social Security and stuff. And anyways, before you guys get into it, as you know, I have no phone. My phone's being replaced. But anyway, let me tell you this story. So, all of a sudden, I started having chest pain. Now, Tara and Corey, they're just, they're family. Same with Teddy. Teddy knows how my dad died of a heart attack, so I was this close to ending up dead. Very close to slipping, I should say. Between a heart attack and other issues, stroke. Yeah, stroke, I'll explain that too. So what's happened is coronary artery disease is plaque. Now, plaque needs to be unclogged. You can use certain natural, let's just say, organic or home remedies to break the plaque down, but it can take years of doing the same thing over and over. That's why they recommend surgery. So they're lining me up either out here in Whatcom or Skagit County or in Oregon to have the surgery. I'd rather have it in Oregon, but it just depends. But point is I woke up and I had dinner and it fully went on and on and on and then on and on and on, and it stressed me out to the point where between my food being mayonnaise, they said the mayonnaise had the trigger because it's like a type of lard, so technically, However, I got the doctor that basically ripped me a new one the last time, didn't want to see me, yada yada yada. She found out, again, law enforcement got involved. This time they were very polite. Moppy was with me the whole time, but he basically realized, what happened. Of course, like I said, it wasn't an easy thing to do. I mean, literally, Chloe wheeled me up in a wheelchair, and they ripped her a new one because of the phone. Ripped her a new one because the backup phone's missing. I mean, literally, it was not easy to basically chew or swallow, basically. It was basically a bitter pill. And, the thing is, they're like, well, this is why there should be a phone in all regions. Well, thing is the other thing that they got mad at her about, and it's basically, they said, look, you're not doing any good for Rita. You're a slob. You're determined to be a slob. And you don't like cleaning, so it's time for you to move on. And you're caused Rita enough pain and heartbreak. She said, well, I want to get a job. Unfortunately, they basically said, on this island, get real. Basically. But she's like, well, I got her here. They're like, it doesn't matter. She has no phone. Her backup phone's missing. The other phones she's got laying around, the battery chargers can't charge them up anymore because we don't know what brand charger it is. So all these old phones that can't be used, and you're sitting there saying, well, I got her up here when you're the problem. I mean, look, you don't want to clean, you don't want to cook, you don't want to do anything. You cause Rita that stressed because now you want to get a job, which can screw up her rent pricing. And I mean, literally, it was just, you can see I'm not feeling well, but I'm telling you the story anyways. But you guys get the idea. I mean, literally, this is just a short video. I can't sleep anymore. Sunlight's coming out, but I mean, literally, it's gonna be one of those days, I gotta wait till, I go into town soon to, you know, get supplies, and they basically said, look, you basically, so what happened was, as soon as the doctor compiled all the information, the primary care physician that didn't want to see me again came in and talked to me and realized that this is actually serious after they did some light tests. And they decided, what surgery I'm going to have. Right now I'm arguing with them for Oregon, yet they can do Whatcom County, which is Bellingham, I think it is, or Skagit County, which is fine by me too, but my main thing is I'd rather have, at least my family checking in with me. Oregon, which if Moppy needs to at least use the bathroom twice a day, morning and evening, they can do it, not that I'm relying on them, but I have more faith in Tara and Corey than I do anyone else with Moppy anyways. I mean, literally, it's just, right now I'm on a lot of stuff, to etc. And that's the other thing I wanted to say is when I talked to the Skagit place, they wanted me to have a psych eval, and because they transferred me off island there, and the psych eval was done, and I said, look, you want to claim I'm all these things, just like Chloe. You have no consequential, no concrete proof. See, I'm not thinking. Anyways, the doctor basically, I said, you want to put me on these meds? I said, these meds are black boxes, cause heart disease and death. He's like, well, we think you could. Yes, no. I said, you know why I'm here? I'm being here for heart disease tests. You want to put on something that kills me? It shows right there. You don't think about you or people. You just want to kill them. And the doctor realized I was there for heart disease. He realized it puts me on these black box warnings, which is something they don't think about, that it will kill me. That's why one of the reasons why the doctor at the hospital in Oregon, when I was there in mental, didn't want me on meds, because it would kill me. Karen Corey would be burying me early because these meds do kill faster. They didn't tell Aaron that, hubby. But you guys get the idea, okay? I don't look my best this morning as a woman because, I've been through hell lately. And I thought I'd share it. Now, you're wondering about the whole stroke thing. Now, when the nitro was working, it actually caused me to have some feeling up here. So they did some tests to realize that they had to break down some blood clots up here because, not because of estrogen, but because of it. So I have some funny feelings up here. It's because sometimes the blood flow is not getting to the brain either. So, it was a deadly situation where I could have died basically because the whole ordeal was not, and they say it's triggered because of a semi-bad diet. The treadmill's working, but it's not working fast enough, as they say, because, you can burn off all these calories. You can make sure, and when it comes to my diet, okay, this is how I explain it to them. Now, Tara and Corey, they're the type that, they're probably thinking I'm a fool for, talking about my diet, but, and tobacco doesn't help either. That's one thing I'm going to slowly get off of, actually. But anyways, as you see, I haven't opened the can up, but I want to talk to you all about issues, okay? Now, when it comes to heart disease, coronary artery disease, it also has to do with your diet. Now, for all we know, my cousin Corey could have it, doesn't know it, but I'm going to give you some pointers, One is your diet. Decrease your salt intake. That's a dearly must. You want high blood pressure? Decrease your salt. Now, if you have decreased your salt and you're still having problems, it's more likely the intake of red meat. Now, you need more white meat. You need fish and chicken to help. Pork is not good. Pork, you can have pork white meat. It's still not good for you. You can have deep fried chicken. It's not good for you. Even though it's white meat in the chicken, it's been deep fried, so all those oils come out. It's like when you buy turkey, you take all the chicken you eat, boneless, skinless turkey and chicken. You eat the skin's where all the fat is, and you cut off all the portions of fat off the turkey and chicken, and just eat, the lean parts. A lot of people eat it all, and that's where the heart starts getting the arteries, and your arteries are being clogged up, and so is your heart, and so what's happening with me is, and the reason they haven't done emergency surgery yet is because it's not bad enough, but it's getting there. That's why they got to decide, which clinic I want to go to before it happens. But with them basically doing it, they also know that my heart's a lot weaker now, so they're also weighing in, besides unclogging me, do I need a pacemaker defibrillator too? So, it's all these things that I haven't made the decision to do that because, frankly, my point is I have to handle other issues. Now, that's where everything else comes in. Now, with me, I am wanting to say I'm sorry for all of you if I scared you and I haven't surfaced. I know in videos I've said, please, bear with me, and just give me my time, but, between Chloe basically going ape shit and, now let's go back to diet. Now, salt intake with ramen's not good. Canned soups, not good. High amounts of, Sarah, you might not like this, but high amounts of canned fruits aren't good either. Heart disease can also fluctuate with a lot of sugars, I found out. So that's why they say when you have diabetes and heart disease, it's not good because your sugar, you're having problems there. Your heart has to burn off all that excess sugar, and when it does, it turns into something else, which can turn into something else, which can clog your arteries. So, it's like basically they say drink coffee with low-fat milk or 1 or 2% milk. No creamer. Creamer is heavy in fat. No espressos that are made with half and half or pure whipped cream. That's just purely death sentence. Now, caffeine's okay if it's straight black coffee. Now, if you have a caffeine limit, it's fine. If you don't, it could be a problem. I mean, I'm drinking it with just straight black today. What I can, But yeah, you gotta limit your caffeine intake as well. And so, everyone has their own opinions and so forth, but it's not just about cutting out your sugars, it's also cutting out your breads and your stuff too, because certain foods will gain weight and other foods will turn into sugars like rice, and even pasta can turn into sugar. So if you didn't know that, so basically it's not a good thing when you have too much starch in your system, That's why, they say when you on high blood pressure meds that are potassium derivative, you don't want to eat too many bananas, or you don't want to eat too many potatoes. So you gotta balance out your diet because of it. So now let's get on to the next part, which is red meat. Now Tara's probably curious about that. Now Tara doesn't know my diet's in red meat. Now mine's basically caused because too much ramen turning into starch with salt, with canned soups, which usually I don't even eat canned soups. Usually I stay away from canned soups because, of the salt content. I'm trying to live a little healthy. I know Tara can laugh at me. Go ahead, laugh at me. But honestly, the salt content isn't good in soup. So even the ramen's not good. But the ramen's more of a death sentence because you not only got that, the starch can turn into sugars, which can cause problems for your heart and your diabetes. Now, with ramen, that's one thing. But now for chicken noodle soup or beef soup or minestrone or whatever, you gotta remember the noodles can turn into a starch, which can turn into a sugar, which could cause trouble. And I had to sit down and listen to a dietitian explain to me what is good and what isn't. So fresh fruits are good if it's fresh. Not canned. If it's canned, it's basically high in syrup, which is not good. Basically, the sugars alone are not good. Same with pulling sugars into your coffee, Now, red meat, like I said, 8 ounce or 6 ounce or 4 ounce portions fine. Now let me tell you a whole bunch of diet problems with red meat. Now with me, they knew I only ate red meat for like for the first week of the month. You know, I had tacos, I had ribs, I've had chicken or pot pies or whatever, you know, I wanted. 1 week of it, sausage ropes, Little Smokies. Little Smokies again, salt content's not good on those little sausages. Sausage ropes are the same. Salt contents of the fat packaged meats aren't good. So when you sit there and you decide to take a box, and I'm not saying it's bad, okay? I'm just saying, look at my cousin once in a while, like Aaron. Corey and Aaron were almost the same type of cook, alright? They love their jambalaya, their rice, and their sausage ropes. Now the sausage ropes high in salt, alright? And fat and cholesterol, which Aaron knew this. But the rice turns into sugars, and because of it, can, you know, cause trouble. So technically you got basically a meal that you love, but it's basically a death trap. Slowly it'll kill you if you eat enough of it. See? So basically when it came to me buying pork chops, for example, now the family recipe calls for an item that's just high in salt. Tara knows what it is. The salt in smoked pork chops or the regular chops, which are naturally salty, meaning with pork's naturally salted, plus additional salt, increases high blood pressure, and with red meat being the way it is, can cause heart disease faster, because not only are you eating the pork chop has fat deposits in the pork, which can cause, you know, pork's not a lean meat, so technically, you know, there you have it. So, you know, you got your pork. Now, that includes bacon. Bacon's pretty much all fat. Even if you cut off fat, it's just basically fat grease or fat to eat, you know. So most of the pig is fat. So that's why they plump them out. So if you look at pork's not something that is healthy for a heart diet. Now people say it is if you just eat straight pork for bacon, like my new apartment manager does, even though she's got a heart disease or problems. You know, the thing is now, when it comes to me and pork chops, I usually get smoked pork chops, 20 pounds a month. I have to divide it up as, you know, half and half. Now, you know, that's not including, you know, because I walk everywhere and I use a treadmill, the problem is it's not breaking down the fat deposits in my arteries and my heart. So technically that's what caused the heart attack. Now, with me, I took 3 nitros and then got in a wheelchair and quote pedaled me up there, basically ran, you know, and got me there. And that's, but the doctor also knows the stress from Chloe basically doing what she's doing to Chloe basically. The doctor was kind enough this time to ask me specifically, did she even get medicated? And I said no, but I wasn't even in the mood to talk. I just wanted to have, you know. So she had to bring in my primary care physician, which is going to look after me anyways on this island. Thanks to Chloe basically trying to say that we're not, you know, that, Chloe's more of the problem. And, you know, they realized that this heart attack was caused, you know, and almost stroke right on top of it was caused by Chloe. Literally, Chloe and stress. Look. We had the sheriff come in and say, you know, you could have prevented this a lot better with phones. You couldn't, you know, and, you know, how do I say it? Corey and Tara might be in shock. Hold on. Please, not the mood. Alright, sorry about that, everyone. So the dog went ape over something. No one knows. Chloe's in the other room. Now let me explain what's going on. I can't even think anymore. Anyways, when it comes to red meat, I basically have been told, lean meats. Now, when it comes to tacos, I usually get the leanest it's not green, the leanest meat possible for hamburgers, tacos. Now, same with, the pork chops. He only does only the leanest, but his ribs, on the other hand, has a little bit of fat for smoke, the smoked pork ribs. So I've been told, to try to cut out my bacon and my sausage intake, which I only eat sausage items pretty much once a month anyways. So they still said basically between the blockages and the arteries and everything else, that's what caused the problems that they have because you know, but yeah, literally, even if I eat pig I mean, sometimes the food bank gives us Chubb's the sausage, which we eat like once a week. They have it, but that's once a week too much. Same goes with eggs. All right, now I'm a big fan of eggs. Okay, I only eat we get a dozen eggs a week, so I have to divide them up. 6 for me and 6 for Chloe. Chloe wants hers fried, so I fry them up. And then after I get done, I clean the frying pan out, and then I turn around and I make 6 egg scrambled, and I eat scrambled. Now that's once a week, so you can say 6, 12, 24 eggs a month is literally not good for the heart either because of the cholesterol. So that's something that you got to look into as well. So I mean, literally, I mean, it's not like Gaston, who as a child ate 5 dozen eggs a week, now eats 6 dozen eggs a day. I mean, how the heck does someone eat that many eggs a day? I mean, yeah, if you want protein and strength, yeah, you eat it, but you're also literally clogging your arteries up with pure cholesterol too. I mean, it's like boiling eggs. Even if you hard boil the eggs, you still got the egg yolks. Now, if you take the egg yolks out, you might, it's more than you cut out the egg yolks. You're eating healthier. That's why you don't see much egg yolks when it comes to hard boiled eggs on salad because they put the egg on it. They don't usually use the egg yolk. So, I mean, literally, if you want cholesterol, you put in the cholesterol with everything else, your deviled eggs, and that you put it together. So, but anyways, so basically, I had a psych eval done with my heart thingy in 2 hospitals. They did evals both places, and they came to the conclusion that the heart attack was caused with Chloe. Literally, because Chloe's stressing me out physically on um, basically the fact that she's uh, stressing me out on finances. And she wants to get a job, for example, and it's impossible to get a job. I mean, she can. I mean, I don't mind her doing it, but not here. Literally. Literally, her mom, if she's watching this, should realize that it's not easy just coming out of the hospital, talking to you all about it with the restlessness. Now, when you have a heart attack, another thing that happens is you think it's going to happen. You could be up at 6 in the morning or 4 in the morning, just waking up, just sitting there thinking, is this going to happen to me again? An impending doom over you because you just had one and you're thinking you're dying, and then when you get checked, they say, yes, your troponin levels are really high, and it's because the graph and stuff, literally. I mean, literally, they said I came in when I did, otherwise it would have got worse. I mean, even with rest, that's why they call angina, which is part of coronary artery disease. So, and the other thing they asked is why the nitro was in the possession of Chloe instead of me. And Chloe's like, well, I was holding on to it. So, it's not easy. I mean, I know Tara J and Gabby's listening to this, and Gabby knows that if you guys remember, some of my meds were with Chloe the last time when it came to the mental hospital. And, The other thing is they looked into the outpatient care. She's not welcome on the island apparently, so they're looking into first come first serve at a place called Seymour, but problem is she more likely will have to end up at Cascade or Fairfax again. Smokey doesn't want her, so but they did an intake with me, and the reason they did the intake is they wanted to find out what was actually mentally struggling to cause this. And, I explained, it's not just, this, it's everything. Look, I love my family dearly. They don't know how much hell I'm truly going through, and this is why I decided to do this video this morning while I'm thinking about it, because I can't sleep. Physically I'm drained, but I can't sleep because I just suffered one of the most harshest things ever that was worse than the last time. And this time around they want to make sure they do more tests. So, they're doing, the they did the calcium score test, the barium test, the X-ray test, the MRI test, the ultrasound test. They went through me with a fine comb, and they're just like, oh crap, only because my diet's bad. Drinking doesn't help either. Again, drinking doesn't help. 1 to 2 shots of whiskey a day is that. But vodka or hard liquor, red wine will help if you drink half a glass a day or a glass a day, but otherwise it's not good. It just helps you change into an alcoholic. Now, being an alcoholic, again, people sit there and say, well, I don't get how it affects heart patients. Basically, it's the sugars in the alcohol. Now, if you're drinking vodka, for example, your potato intake fused into, you got potassium water with sugar fused together to make vodka, and so you got your potassium water, sugar, and stuff, which is bad for your diabetes and your heart. It's basically the higher the octane of alcohol, the more sugar it's used in the fermenting process and the distillery or the distilling process. So I've learned a lot about this after spending so much time listening to a dietitian. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is, because I was living for the first 2 weeks of this month, I've been literally living on red meats purely. That is not good. Now, if you can have whole grains or things that aren't so rich in sugarly based, like rice and stuff, you can survive. But with me, my diet for the first 2 weeks of this month was just pure, meatloaf and ribs and hamburgers and tacos and you name it. And eventually, it just basically made me fall over almost. And so, the thing is that when you decide to make foods, and I'm giving a tip for my family, whoever's watching is Tara, Corey, Gabby. What you want to do, Tara J, is, Tara J, I know you like your macaroni and cheese and stuff because it's affordable, but look at the content of the salt and everything else and think about what you're putting in your body. Now, one of the things is I don't usually eat a lot of mac and cheese anymore because A, it's just too expensive in the box, and B, it's just, now, a couple other tips for you, but first I want to talk about food. Now, when it comes to people like Tara, who's a badass cook, Tara's awesome. I love Tara. As you can see, I'm like sitting here like this. I'm not feeling well, and I'm having problems with my arms. My circulation's not doing good. If you didn't know, all triggered from stress, but I'll get to that too. Now, one of the things I wanted to share with you was when it comes to foods. All right, now when it comes to baking foods or cooking foods, like I said, Tara's a badass cook, right? You got to take into account your your ingredients. Now, let's just say Tara decides to go ahead and make one of my favorite dishes that she makes, enchiladas, chicken, with the cream sauce. She's going to have to take into account lean chicken, and then find a fat-free or low-fat cheese, and she's going to have to find something that simulates or does a good job of if she uses milk or cream for the sauce, she's going to have to take that into account. In the end, she's going to have to look at all the calories and count and read up on, the ingredients. If she was going to make it hypothetically for me, she would have to look into the calories, the salt intake, the cheese, how much fat's in it, and compare and calculate how much cholesterol and everything put together in it and say, whoa. I mean, a lot of Hispanic people get overweight in their 40s and 50s and start having heart disease, because of their rich diet of meat, cheese, and flour, and, American style Mexican, for example. Asians don't have that problem because of other reasons. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you all. Now, with me, let's go a little further with the dinner plan, okay? For example, yes, I'm getting ready to do this in 31 minutes. For example, what if I told you my idea the other day before I had this heart attack was to go ahead and buy 30 to 60 Schwann's frozen pizzas and have them stuck in my freezer, right? Yeah, just pull one out, put it in the oven, cook it. Well, let's see. You got your starch, you got your cheese. Let's just say hypothetically, you got your pork toppings, you got your salt, because there's a lot of salt in all that too, and your cholesterol and everything else. When you look at your daily intake of one pizza, your daily intake is half that pizza, you see? So when you make yourself a Schwann's pizza or DiGiorno or whatever frozen pizza you want, you're going to have to look at it as a thing. Now, for example, if you're going to Domino's or Pizza Hut, for example, I know Tara and Corey love to pig out on pizza at times. I've done it myself. I admit, I'm as bad as, well, we all are when it comes to pizza, and I'm just bragging because, again, they're both badass family members. But they say each pizza is supposed to be eaten by one member should eat a quarter of it. So there's 8 slices, 2 slices is good in your daily intake. Most people eat 4 to 6 or even a whole pie, which means you're taking not just double your intake, but you might double, triple, or even quadruple it just by engorging a pizza. Now, that's another thing when you look at serving. Now, they're basically stating with one, when it comes to ramen, okay, they sit there and they say, oh, the cholesterol and everything else, and you look at it, your daily intake, you look at it and they say half a package per person. But, one package, so people just shovel it in not knowing that, this is your daily recommended intake of salt or cholesterol or whatever, one package of ramen or whatever. I mean, you go to a butcher, he doesn't have the labels at the fresh meat shop basically stating what is what, I mean, literally. I mean, I love Raisin Bran. So technically, when I buy Raisin Bran, I usually use 1% milk, and on Raisin Bran, it's a heart-healthy diet. That's another thing. You look for the heart-healthy diet like oatmeal. Now, a lot of people basically turn around and they dock their oatmeal up with too much brown sugar or sugar in general, which again is not that good, But if you have a low-fat low-fat diet, etc., you'll be better off. But have you noticed bread? Most breads are healthy heart with the heart symbol. Yeah. So sometimes you got to look for that. I mean, you don't see soups that often, canned soups with it either, because, they're basically low sodium. Oh yeah, they lower the sodium, but still the can's got a lot of sodium. So, you look at the diet picture there, you gotta look at how long do you want to live and etc. Now, another thing you gotta look at is salad dressings, for example. Again, look at the calories. Ranch dressing, let's just say hypothetically cousin Tara likes ranch or blue cheese. Look at how much cholesterol is in the ranch or blue cheese. Usually ranch and blue cheese, I think, is formulated with a bit of mayonnaise. I think it is one of the main ingredients. I think is mayonnaise, or something, and oil, and formulated together. So in the end, your dressing is basically worse than whatever. So technically, it's Now I know Tara's sitting there going. I hope Tara's actually taking notes for once, because frankly, I don't want to repeat myself. We'll replay this over and over. But anyways, basically with the dietitian, you gotta look at low-fat salad dressing too. That's the thing, And so, when family turns around and, they sit there and, I love Tara dearly, alright? I'm not gonna sit there and badmouth and nag Tara. I just get upset with where's my updates on the treadmill. Thing is I can run the treadmill every day, which I do, except for when I was hospital bound. They basically said that you can do so much with the treadmill, you can burn down the calories that you eat, but when it comes to your fat intake, that's where it clogs up your arteries, so you got to be careful. So that's where the surgery is. I mean, right now I'm stabilized, so they can figure out organ or up here. The thing is if I have up here, I got to keep Chloe longer, and frankly, that's one thing that they're just trying to work with is get her out of here, because she triggered it. I mean, literally, she triggered it by asking about her Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, and whatever. I mean, look, the lady and I talked to social work. I mean, when I talked to the doctor basically realized that all the records are screwed up. I mean, I said, look, I explained everything to the doctor. My file's like this thick now with with all the tests. But you know what? At least the doctor apologized for his stupidity, and I apologized myself too for wholeheartedly being an idiot, being drunk. But she realizes that Chloe triggered not just the drinking, but the heart attack. I mean, literally, it's not that. Now, stress. How do you relieve stress? I play video games. Usually I don't have any problems. Now, usually I don't stress over games at all. Usually because of my sneaking and archery skills, I actually don't stress out on games at all. The role playing. They're just, there to clean my mind. Now, stress, as I said, was most likely because of issues with, finances and, again, bills and food and demands. I mean, look, she basically was told that if she keeps the demands up of while still here, while I figure out what to do with social workers and therapists and doctors, that the main thing is that the social workers, and etc. know that see, I'm trying to get my words together right now in my head. Basically, realizes that if she keeps doing the demands or ifs, then it's considered DV, and they know it, because frankly, she can't demand finances for makeup when, when it comes to, as Tara said, one time, I financially keep all of the budget pretty proper, and literally, between that and the weather, if it rains, no one knows I'm going out. That's the thing, I'm stuck indoors, and so, I just gotta ride this out until it gets better, and frankly, I have family members like Melissa and Sarah who worry about me. They're sisters. I did their wedding, and they're worried about me too. I mean, literally, they don't understand how hard it is, waking up one day with a massive, waking up. I mean, see, what happened was, I was sitting there. Okay, I'll tell you the story. I finished tuna fish sandwich with mayonnaise. Started having chest pain now. They asked what Chloe was. Chloe went and dug up the nitro out of her bag, and I said, it's mine. And then she went out with Moppy. When I came back, Moppy was whimpering because he knew I was having pain. And at the time, the pain was already there. It was just getting worse. I thought indigestion, so I popped as many as I could of antacids. It didn't work. So finally, between that, taking the first nitro, didn't relieve it, and problems with my head, second nitro and the third, I passed out. Now when I woke up, it was, I believe it was 4:30 in the morning, which rushed me up there, and that's when the doctor's like, well, what do you want? Why is Rita in a wheelchair? And so finally they turned around and they did the test and found the troponin was still high enough up because they said, where were you? I was in bed. I got up. I can barely, Chloe literally had to drag me up the stairs, pop me in the wheelchair to get me there. Literally I couldn't move. Literally physically I couldn't, it was like impending world of doom. So when the lady did all the tests, she found out that stress was part of it because listening to Chloe talk about food stamps, sex change, and hormones, and everything else, it's like Tom Cruise. He could have had a heart attack taking care of Raymond Babbitt, and jokingly, of course. Literally, you can see him not in the mood, but you guys get the ideas, literally, it's been just a crazy week, and they discharged me, like I said, and they sent me home, and now they want me to decide where I'm gonna go for surgery to get it cleared up. Aaron had atherosclerosis. That's what's happening. Atherosclerosis means hardening of the arteries. They can break it down, and they can still do it. Now, it's got to be done soon, so I have to decide what to do with it, but they also said to me they checked in with the doctor. The vagina looks good. That was one of my worries too. But the thing is right now my heart's weaker, and I know Mother Danielle's sitting there going, "OMG." Basically, the thing is, the Facebook drama is also caused it, literally. And I need to stay off of Facebook. So that's why I need that family use the phone text me. Or phone when the phone's back, or text me on on the phone, or call me. My family. I love my family dearly. Look, I love them all. But if they want to use Facebook Messenger, they should at least use the phone at least once a week to check in with me. If I call Poppy once a week, they should be able to check in with me. Literally, it doesn't take that much of a rocket scientist to check in with me and say, are you okay, Rita? Literally, that's the other thing that, part of my stress is, everyone told me I was going to end up with a stroke or a heart attack, and, it happened. And it's only because they were right, and also they said, I'm not going to get any better, I'm going to get worse. So that's what happened. Literally, I got worse. I know TJ's sitting there going, wow, or Gabby, or Lexi, or Tara, or B-Hole, or Corey, or even Teddy. But my main thing is, this video is for all of you to let you know that stress also, out of all of my family members, I think, I always write, letters to family and say, how are you, one of my stresses, no one's asked me literally how I'm feeling or how I'm doing. It's, usually I'm saying, well, did you hear this story, that story about what Chloe's done to me? They don't say, well, how are you doing in general? Usually they don't even bring up, once in a while they bring up, oh, well, you're going to end up dead if you don't get this taken care of, or, etc. And so, is this the, yeah, that's the Skull Extra Mint. Basically, I haven't tried the Dark Mint yet from Grizzly yet. I'm curious about it, but not too curious, Now, like I said, tobacco products aren't good. I'm just doing this because, maybe to relieve that minor headache I got. I don't know. Well, the coffee didn't do it, so I thought maybe the minor headache or semi-major headache, um, but yeah, like I said, I'm not with it right now, but you guys get the idea, basically. The triggers were there, and it was just time. I mean, literally, hubby died at 38. I'm not going to die at 40. They basically made sure of that, but they also told Chloe that she needs to realize that she's triggered this. And that's where I'm getting at this, because frankly, the heart's basically weak because, you got not just a poor diet, but you got too much stress and etc. The doctor apologized to me and found out that I was the one being abused. She was like, wow. But I agreed with her that the alcohol, the binge drinking does do damage to the heart. So, binge drinking does. So I warn you all that. Now, red meat, too much red meat in your diet, same thing. Now, when it comes to the Salisbury steaks I was getting at that I was eating, again, the Salisbury steaks, the frozen Salisbury steaks, the TV dinners, the gravy, the meat and stuff, it's not a healthy alternative. Even though, let's just say you can get a TV dinner for $1, you eat that $1 TV dinner once a month, you'll be lucky. Like once every 3 months, you're really doing better. Once every 6 months, hey, I'm proud of you. Thing is, the more times you enjoy this, the more times you need to read labels. That's where, I say read labels. Literally. One of the things I was told that I could really save on to a point for, and another thing is look how much fat and cholesterol is in your chips, in your dips. And so I know Corey and Tara like their chips from time to time. Maybe you should look into that too while you're at it. I've learned recently to read labels, And another thing is, if you're really interested in a low-fat alternative to eating healthy, another good snack that you can keep on hand is buy an air popper and pop your own popcorn. You don't need to put butter on it unless you want to. Salt, again, that retains water and raises your blood pressure, causes you heart disease. Butter is not as healthy as margarine, so even if you use one stick of butter for your popcorn, it's not a healthy alternative. What you need to do is stay away from butters and stuff, which is a lot of things that I wanted to share I've learned is, and I'm hoping you're taking names and numbers and getting ideas, as I say, to Gabby and Tara J and Lexi and stuff, is I'm not talking about taking names for Chloe. You guys, Lexi already knows if she wants to do something. I can just send her the address, but my point is it ain't gonna work. She's already feeling bad, but, let me get to the point I'm making. Now, it comes to dairy products. Just taking notes. Dairy, as long as you get no fat, low fat, 1% or 2%, preferably non-fat, yogurt, cheese, and butter, you're a lot better off. Unsalted butter is a lot healthier for you than salted, but, the thing is, don't use heavy whipped cream, don't use half and half, and don't use regular whipped cream. That's just all compiled fat. Unless it requires it, then make sure you get non-fat whipped cream if you can get a hold of it. Now, another thing is, try to avoid stress. Try to live in an environment where, you're not stressed. Now, thinking about my little argument with Tara the other day, or a long while ago, a while ago, I think it's because of everything that's happening in this world that she chose the path that she's chosen, I won't go into details with me. That was kind of stressing me out too. Honestly, sis, it did. Literally, we had chats a long time about it, and then, me triggering this, and, literally, I was talking to one of the sheriffs. He's a great man, and he says, well, it's your business, not mine, so I just want to say it. I shouldn't have stressed out for it, just to let you know, I will be going down that path myself soon enough. so we can talk about it. I'll write you a letter soon. The stress that I have is so bad that, you know, the, the, Sarah Jane knows that the cleaning is not getting done, literally. And, I mean, it takes a month for 50% of the bathroom, 50% of the apartment to be clean. We can have an inspection called 2 days. She'd have to bust her ass. Problem is, she just doesn't want to. She wants to play Skyrim. Now, my stress is, I'm not well. Literally, physically, I'm not well. And I'm gonna spill the beans on something, okay? For Gabby, for Tara J, for Lexi, for Teddy. I was offered to set up an apartment in Oregon to post Tara and Corey. I think they know my heart's not doing well by now. And they're worried about me, literally. It's not just the abuse, the stress. The stress of paying all the bills and having someone keep saying, well, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to get a job. And then I have the stress and the manager say, well, if she gets fired, it's my job to pay $1,300, $1,200, $1,100, whatever the rent is, or be evicted. So I can't afford to be evicted, so I need to find a roommate, which I'm working on. Which, if you're watching this, Renbro, you're more than welcome to come here. I can help you with disability. As if anyone knows, Renbro is a family member of mine that I've known for 10 plus years. She won't screw me over, she won't. She's a gamer. And I love her as a sister, so there you go, Renbro. Her real name's Heather, so. But the bottom line is, everything's gotta change eventually, and as you guys need to know, one of my stress triggers was that I thought Chloe would change. I mean, literally, she won't. She's violent, she's combative, she's, obnoxious. I mean, she was basically blaming the doctors for this heart attack. And the doctors put in my records that it's partly to do because I couldn't see the therapist, which I need, because I was told no services there. Now they're just like, here, we're going to help you. We're going to do financial aid. We're going to help you. And they know I'm taking care of Chloe. Chloe doesn't want to help herself. And so they also put in the record that she's self-damaging herself, and it's causing me to look bad because everyone wants to blame me with the stress for her not being on disability, when I asked Chloe specifically before they transferred me out, after they did the test they needed, the doctor that I talked to, the one that signed off on Chloe, said she made a mistake signing Chloe off, but she looked over Chloe's record and couldn't believe the psych record, or how much abuse, how much shit's happened, and yet Chloe does this all the time for suicide, which is stress. So I asked her specifically, one of my stress levels, which they made me more comfortable there. They even let Moppy sleep on the bed. He was whimpering and moaning and grumping, and one of the things is that Chloe gave Moppy the nitro and he brought it to me. So I used it, and then after the third pill I was supposed to call 911, but with no phone I passed out. When I woke up I told Chloe, she's playing Skyrim, get me to the hospital, take my Switch with me, and I was playing my Switch up there, which she took the charger and the dilator, and I dilated, and the nursing staff was great. I didn't have to get into a robe because I was on my jammies. All I had to do was pull down my pants, and they looked at me thoroughly and did everything they needed to. They sent a report to the doctor in Oregon, who reported back it looks good. They also sent my primary care to see me before me shipped out. She didn't want to believe I had coronary artery disease until the surgeon in Oregon basically said, yeah. But, the thing is, another thing is, let me just tell you all that, for Corey's sake and Tara's sake, never trust a heart doctor that says your heart's fine, when you can also have the barium test, which is the radioactive dye, the ultrasound, the MRI, the other tests that they can do on your heart, as well as a calcium score test, which will tell you how bad your heart is. If they don't offer you the other tests and they say your insurance won't pay, their line, you can request these tests. Now, you can put Corey in 200 pounds of fire gear, have him run on a treadmill, and they'll say his heart's fine when his heart might be dead, basically, and he doesn't know it from too much red meat, too much salt, too much this. Also, another tip is, I'm gonna get to this too. Because at first the doctor thought I was schizophrenic, or schizoaffective, or whatever, and had a psychiatrist come in. And he wanted me on meds. But when I told him, how's the I said, let me just say I don't have these, because I had Chloe bring my medical record. He read it through, and he says, okay, I believe you. Well, he wanted me on psych meds. Problem is, every psych med he recommended is a black box, which means speeds up heart disease, kills you. That's what happened with Aaron. Without Aaron being told black box warnings, he just says, oh, you can have Seroquel, Paxil, lithium. That combo will help you, as well as we're back to the set for your musculoskeletal problem to relax your muscles. That helps speed up heart disease, which wasn't good. Plus the fact that everyone knows that me and Aaron's diet was bad. Now, they have the heart report from the doctor. They've also talked to my former surgeon and heart doctor and, the one that diagnosed me, and a professor at OHSU, as well as a professor at Miami University, the doctor that didn't diagnose Aaron and regrets it. Yeah. They went through with a fine comb thoroughly at these places, and they weren't they weren't turning over every rock to find out. And so, they did not want me going and suing for having family sue like Corey for wrongful death because they didn't do enough tests. I mean, I told them what tests needed to be done. They did everything by the book, and they diagnosed, saying, yeah, yes, the problem is, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the black box warning can also be on, if, say, Corey and Tara are taking antidepressants, look at the black box warnings that they're not telling you. A lot of meds have black box warnings that they won't tell you, and so this is what causes you to have heart disease too. I mean, someone can take lithium for 20 years and end up with heart disease because the heart disease is there. They're just not looking for it because the black box warning on meds. I mean, it's the other thing is heart disease also comes with your GMOs, your Monsanto or stuff, so try to choose organic foods and fruits and vegetables and meats, and you can live a little healthier, but also even if you eat organic meats and vegetables, the veggies are healthy. Fruits are healthy, fresh fruits, not canned fruits, again. And eat red meat once a week and you should be fine. Eat fish once a week, you should be fine. Now, talking fish, they don't mean deep fried fish sticks and fried. That's just, deep fried. See, what happens is fish is deep fried and then flash frozen, and then when you bake them, it's still not healthy for you. So what they say is, if you're going to eat meals like chicken, for example, I'm not talking about regular chickens. I'm talking about actual chicken you buy in the stores. I'm not saying take Nugget, Bernie, or Bert and them and cook them up. I'm saying in general is don't deep fry your foods. Always peel your skins off as the poultry so you don't have cholesterol. That's where your cholesterol is pretty much. Chicken is considered cholesterol, but if you get the lean chickens and stuff, you're a lot healthier, but you eat that like once or twice a week, you're fine. Red meat's once or twice a week. Once preferably, and then fish is fine too, as long as you don't eat the skin. Now, certain fish is bad for you. Salmon's bad for you. Halibut's healthy for you. That's why it's expensive. Rockfish is healthy for you, like your stuff. But some fish is pretty fattening, I mean, trout's healthy for you. You take the skin off and you bake it. Baked foods are a lot healthier. So if you get a steak, you bake it. You get chicken, you bake it. You get other things. Now, wings aren't healthy for you. Wings are pretty cholesterol, and that's because they deep fry them. Now, the cayenne seasonings on your pepper is fine, but you gotta also check on the salt content of the chicken. With chicken is somewhat natural salty too, so you gotta be careful on your salt intake. That helps with heart disease. So, all in all, I had to spend hours upon hours while waiting, talking to a dietitian, which the hospital paid for on my insurance. Otherwise, if I went to an actual private dietitian, it would cost me about $400 a session. And so they did it that way so they didn't have to charge so much, but they explained to me what needs to be cut down. Now, if I eat ramen once a week, I'm fine. But eating it every day will basically cause me to have a lot of trouble. Same with frozen pizzas. Frozen pizza is a treat once in a while. Another thing is when it comes to ice cream or frozen yogurt, you got to make sure it's fat-free yogurts or fat-free cheeses or low-fat cheeses, not regular cheese is pure fat. Same with dairy products. That includes your eggs. Now you can use you can get less cholesterol if you take out. You can get like Eggland's Best with no yolk. And you just gotta look at your diet and say what do you want to eat, but don't. Now if people sit there and say you live once, eat what you want, but the thing is that's what causes you to have a lot of problems. Same goes with someone who's borderline diabetic, like myself. Like with me, at the beginning of the month, I do buy a bag of chips or two. They say that's okay, but, still eating a whole bag at one setting is not good for me. Now breaking it up in 4 or 5 settings, putting them in little Ziploc bags is different. Same goes with sugar intake. Like Chloe make brownies once a week, and has to have frosting. Now the sugar and the brownies alone with the egg is just a nice little fat bomb. So technically, you just gotta make sure you cut your sugars out. The less sugar you have in your diet is less likely for diabetes, as well as less likely for heart disease. So, when you look at your diet, literally you gotta ask yourself, more greens are good for you, but remember to get something like a raspberry vinaigrette or something that's low fat. You don't want any salad dressings that are made with like Thousand Island, ranch, or blue cheese, because those are fat salad dressings. You want something that's a healthy salad with the heart logo, a healthy heart diet, which really helps you. So that's why people don't go ahead and they get what they want. They get ranch, they get their ribs, they get their wings, they get whatever, and they don't think about what's this doing to the heart. For example, as I told the doctor, and the dietitian, I eat a steak once in a great while. With me, the triggers were, the pork, the wings, and some of the other flash fried foods that I had, like frozen chicken, like chicken tenders and stuff. And, now if you go to the grocery store or the deli and they sell whole chicken, you got to make sure you take all the healthy parts of the rotisserie chicken and leave the skin, or you avoid the flash foods of the what do you call it? The chicken tenders and the fried chicken legs and stuff. Now, the other thing is another tip is if you want to eat healthy, try avoiding fast food. Now, I've cut out my fast food. When I was in Moses Lake, I'd go all the time. Taco Bell, Dairy Queen, McDonald's, Burger King, and those places. Even Rock Bottom for their bacon burgers. It's the bomb. Same with the brewery. Here, the other thing is cut out your beers, because your beers are made with yeast and other stuff, which is bad for your heart, because it's sugar. And, it might taste good going down, but you gotta also ask yourself how much are you going to take intake-wise for your beer. So, beer is another thing that's a no-no for, people. And that includes hard liquor. Most of it's made with high amounts of sugar that burns off in the distilled pot, which makes the vodkas and the gins and the bourbons and the scotches and the Canadians and the even brandy is high in sugar. So you might get brandy that's 40 proof or 50 proof. It's not good for you. You can get 25 to 35% alcohol for say flavored brandies, which could help you in for winter time. Or peppermint schnapps. Again, it's the peppermint might be good, but the problem is the high sugar content that helps speed up heart disease. So, Now, I know families like, well, you should lay low and not binge drink. Well, binge drinking is something I do from time to time, but now it's like, when the doctor explained to me why they wanted the heart test done the last time, it's because the EMS did a lead, and my heart had a wrong rhythm, and they did a check on my sugar levels, and my sugar levels were too high because the borderline diabetic, so that's why they did the test for checking my sugar levels. I mean, literally, they didn't charge me for the ambulance or anything, but they knew what they were doing. Me, I was just like, no, I don't need these tests. It's not my heart, and yet, somewhat it was my fault, but also they wanted to try to involuntary me, and at the time the doctor was like, no, they just let you go, but, and I didn't expect, this to be, and so I gotta finish up what I have tobacco-wise. I'm not giving it to Chloe, and I'm gonna have to give up tobacco, One of the things I enjoy is a good cigar. Cigar smoking helps with speeding up the heart disease too, because cigars have more nicotine than cigarettes, and so when it comes to it, and me, I do dip all throughout the day, so that helps with that problem too, so I gotta limit my intake on dip, and et cetera, so, another thing I'm told is to have a healthier fiber diet, which means like, more fiber in my diet, and read labels and so forth and so on. So it's like, people sit there and say, well, and a lot of family members and friends have said, Chloe's gonna be the death of me. Well, clearly, they were right too. And so right now, the trigger is Chloe wants to get a job, but she wants to get medicated to get a job. And so the doctor talked to Chloe and said, look, she even had a psych eval done in Skagit, and they said, you can go to CMAR, you can get medicated, if it doesn't work, they can always change your meds, but, she's not welcome to Compass, but, the thing is, the hospital realized that, now the real trouble is Chloe. I mean, literally, that's why the sheriff came in to talk to me, because the sheriff realized that, Moppy's a service dog, which is a stress. Moppy kept me in line and balanced. Another thing is supporting Chloe for 2 years. I mean, I told them I was supposed to get I spent probably $20,000 on Chloe by myself, and I was expecting, the retro check, which Chloe said would be mine, and yet, with Social Security, I've talked to a social worker, I've talked to therapists while waiting, I've talked to nurse practitioners and therapists and psychologists, and they all say that with what they've seen with Chloe's permission, one of the stresses was, what is she? They don't know. I mean, literally, her records are, and so with Chloe, Chloe's tarnished her own record, self-damaged it by saying, things in it like, yes, she abuses Rita, yes, she's done this, yes, she's been abused by her family, could be bipolar, could be borderline, could be schizophrenic, no one knows, unless she goes through someone who can actually diagnose her step by step, Chloe's claiming it's autism. And yet they had my Children's Hospital records brought in, and they know that I'm autistic with developmental disabilities and fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, which means I can get drunk pretty quick, but, with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and autism, it usually leads to early heart disease anyway. I mean, my Uncle Roger had heart disease, I think, in his 60s, and so, 50s or 60s, and so he died of it, and my Uncle Butch, I believe, had it, but also he died from thyroid, cancer, I think it was, so, you got that, and then you got, me with the heart disease. My dad died of heart disease. So, in all, it just comes back to, what type of things that I need to look at. Now, like I said, tobacco is not good for me. I did it in front of you, but with Tara and Corey, they also know that I don't try to eat eggs all the time. I don't try to eat bacon all the time. I mean, I like jalapeno bacon. If I can't find jalapeno bacon, I try to avoid bacon, even though the grocery store has bacon. I'm usually a sausage person. Yeah, sausage is high in fat and grease and whatever, so it's not good to load up a box of sausage and then eat it on the ferry. I mean, literally the other thing that's pretty bad is these breakfast sandwiches at McDonald's, Burger King, or the ferry. They have these breakfast sandwiches that are like egg McMuffins with sausage or bacon on it. Those aren't healthy. Or smoked ham, or like I said, sausage patties, or stuff like that. Those aren't healthy because you're not just getting the bread, which turns into sugars, but you are also getting your fat intake of protein. Now, if you eat one sandwich and a cup of coffee, and that's all you eat all day, you might be fine. But if you eat two of them and a cup of coffee, and then you're out and about, and you get a sub sandwich for lunch, you still got to look at the sub sandwich. The bread turns into sugars. The vegetables are fresh, so supposedly fresh. The meats are basically processed meats, which is full of salt. And they say it's healthier. Yeah, it might be healthier if you eat that 1 foot long or 6-inch stuff all day. But if you eat that for lunch, and then you go and say you're on your way home and you pick up a pizza at Little Caesars, or a couple Big Macs for $5, or a couple $5 boxes at Taco Bell. I mean, literally, they say you need to be between 2,000 and 2,500 calories a day, give or take. Now, if you have heart disease, you try to do everything in your calories a little different, healthier wise. Now, some of these people say it's like 1,100 to 1,400 calories for one of those $5 boxes, for your a meal. So with me, I have to go online if I want to go and eat now out and say, well, if I skip breakfast and lunch and just grab a $5 box, I'm almost taking in as much calories just for your 2 tacos and your double taco and your soda than I'm taking in all day. So, and again, you got your fatty meats, which is covered in grease because they make in tacos. Your vegetables are fine. I don't usually use tomatoes or lettuce, so I got meat and cheese and the taco shell. And again, all that turns into sugars, and the grease alone is not good. So you got to look at it that way. It's like Burger King. They say their burgers are healthier, but they're not. They're just flame broiled, and they're still full of cholesterol and grease. Same goes with your McDonald's or your Taco Bell. So if you ever think about your heart, or say Chick-fil-A or KFC, look into going into one of those restaurants sometime and just take a look at the grease bin out back, and you'll see that all the used grease that's been dumped into the grease bin that's that they use, the used oil that they dump in the grease bin. Think of all that used grease that's deep fried foods, and then look at it from a point of view that how much fat is it. I mean, these companies that make these hard taco shells, they're covered in fat too because they have to cook them in a certain way to make them hard. So it's not something, or maybe they're baked. I don't know, but look at it from that point of view. Where is your food coming from, and how much fat is in it, and realize that eating out is not good. I mean, going and getting a bacon burger, a double bacon burger with double bacon and then more bacon and then bacon on the bottom of the bun like they do at the brewery. That's not healthy for you either, even though it's apple smoked. You got your too much salt in your bacon, you got your pig fat, and then you got your hamburger that could be lean, for all we know, but still they cooked it on a thing. I mean, it's like pizza, Like I said, frozen pizza, fresh pizza is the same. You got your pizza sauce, you got your meats on it. Like I like the pig war, which is bacon and Canadian bacon and sausage, and all this, and then, they bake it on they fire heat it in a hearth, fire brick pizza. It's still not healthy for you. I mean, you got to look at what's heart healthy. When you say fish, you want fresh fish, that's not fried but baked. So you got to look at it from a point of view is how much is a person going to take, and afterwards, you go from there, and that is where you get what's going on. I mean, for example, when it comes to etc. Now, another thing is your exercise. Now with me, if I have to go to the library, that's about 3 miles of walking. So by the time I go up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, up the hill, to get there, on the way home, I'm going down the hill, up the hill, just to get home. Now if I want to go to the store, down the hill, up the hill, to the left, then down the hill, and then over there. Or if I want to go to the one grocery store, down a hill, around the corner. Now, if I go to the ferry, it's more down the hill, down to the ferry terminal. So you can see the stress of walking up and down. Hills are not doing really good too. That's why I keep Nitro. And with Moppy, he alerted me that there was problems. I mean, he did not leave my side once through this whole ordeal because he knew Mama was sick. And so, Moppy has been more attached to me, and he knew something was coming. He knew Daddy had this problem too, but Daddy didn't understand why. He just figured doctors were inept. So, I'm just sharing what I know with you guys so you guys can make the right decision and to know that I'm still alive. I'm just, one of the things I told the doctors is, about moving is sending Chloe away. Literally, Chloe's not going to get better, honestly. She thinks getting a job's going to help her, but that's just, like the manager said, it's going to hurt financially more on me if she gets fired. I mean, she has a temper on her. She makes one wrong move, she's fired. And if we're researching, guess who's got to pay the 2 months rent, which could be between $900 and $1,200. I mean, I only bring in $1,300. How am I supposed to pay my electric bill? How am I supposed to pay my phone? How am I supposed to pay my groceries? I mean, literally, it can't be this way. So, having Chloe around, Chloe doesn't realize that it's not good to have a job, but at the same time, she needs to leave and go get a job. I mean, everything I showed through Chloe's records, because Chloe brought them, basically stated that, she wanted to get a job, she wanted to get a housing and job application. She wanted to get work in Seattle. That doesn't look good for Social Security, they said. I mean, I even spoke to the developmentally disabled people that said, well, I'm on disability now, I don't need a job because heart disease is now, worse for me. So technically they're not worried, but they said they can't help Chloe because her diagnosis, even though it's 22 years old, it can't work. They said they could use it, but it won't help her in the long run because, in her, exhibit file, which was a stress, basically states, that we even talked to the lawyer. He gave us 30 minutes of his free time, and he explained why he couldn't take Chloe anymore in Moses Lake, which was, the diagnosis are wrong. If they stuck with one diagnosis, it might be good, but she needs to be having this debilitating problem for 5 years. With me, I've had heart disease for over 10 years, and, because of poor diet, and I started having trouble when I was like 22, so when Aaron first came around, that's when they did the test and said, hey, you got problems, but you're healthy, if but then me and Chloe, me and Aaron lived together, and, with the stress and everything else, it triggered so much. I mean, literally, I was more physically able to, do all the cleaning. Aaron did all the cooking, but Aaron's diet was cooking with ramen, tacos, stuff that we didn't think, was a problem. It was more of it was yummy, we're gonna eat it. Now I look at it as, we need to look at a bigger picture, and so, and like I said, stress is a part of it. I mean, literally family doesn't realize that, Chloe is more stressed to me, not because of, the burden side of it, but everything. And then when family comes around, like, you know how hard it is to be stressed out having no phone, or having a stress, I call it an episode myself, I'm not psychotic, but having a stress episode where you're worried about your family, because they're doing something for themselves, but at the same time, there's no answers to why. It's like, I will tell you later why. But when you sit there, and you talk to a therapist, they're just like, well, it's their business, let it go. But they're more worried about me, and so, they're just like, don't dwell on that, because, you're not going to get the answer till you see them. But they also know that I was under stress because I'm supposed to get my vagina looked at. Can't do it because, if I go there, I'm taking care of Moppy's sleeve still. And so it's a hotel. Now, like I said, to the social worker, just to get there, right? The train gets in at 3. I can get to the train station by lollygag all the way to OHSU from Union Station. I get done. By the time I get done with my appointment, I could probably sit down and have a cup of coffee, and Tara could pull in on her way, which she does like downtown. Otherwise I have to lollygag all the way to say Forest Grove or Hillsborough, close to where they're at, and have her get me there, and then take me to the hotel, and then go to dinner. Now, going to dinner is bad because, the thing is I have to look for a healthy alternative, which isn't high in sodium, cholesterol, or fats. So, sitting there with Tara and Corey saying, let's go get wings and beer, is like saying, let's just go kill me early. And so, the point is, with me not feeling too well nowadays, I mean, being bedridden is not easy either. I mean, I gotta sit down and shave my legs eventually and more addressed to a appointment I got coming up. But, the traveling problem is a stress too, because, the bus drivers are all asses when it comes to what you can carry on the bus. If I'm carrying a suitcase, they're gonna nag me. If I carry a backpack, they're gonna nag me. To a point, so I have to limit what I'm carrying. Now, me, I always carry my computer when I go to Portland, so, that's a must, but you guys get the idea. It's just a pain in the royal rumpus. You gotta pack your clothes, you gotta pack your pillows, maybe a few games, hard case for the Switch, take it and go, and, just do what you need to. Use the Wi-Fi on the train, get in, do your business. Now, like my family says, they're busy, so, when it comes to getting around Portland, it's a thing that stresses me out, because even with GPS on the phone, it would take me a long while to get around, and I'm always afraid of either being mugged or, robbed or, whatever. So to me, it's like, the stress of traveling is, not good. And to me, that's the stress thing. And, having a stress of Chloe always talking about disability and jobs, and so that stresses me out to no end. And, like I said to the doctors and the social workers and stuff, that, budgeting on medical bills is a must. Yet I can't basically just go ahead and spend spend foolishly. I have to be frugal when it comes to, as Tara knows, I can't just go out and buy makeup. I have plenty of makeup from Tara. I appreciate Tara, and that's fine, but, buying makeup and throwing temper tantrum chips, and, another stress thing I have to take care of is underwear, phone, socks, and glasses. I mean, those are musts that I have to do, and they agreed. I mean, literally, And another stressful thing that stresses me out is everyone knows I have a permit to conceal carry. I just need to get the tool to conceal carry for, and to do that, I gotta do layaway. And then work with Corey and them to make sure I can pick it up at the nearest FFL, which is the firearms dealer in Oregon, because that's where I'm gonna get mine. And I talked to them about it, but, listening, stressing out where I hear, well, you're legally blind, you'll shoot your ass off, or you get a crossbow, you'll shoot your ass off, or you get an arrow, you put an arrow in your ass. I mean, literally, what am I going to do? I mean, look, I mean, literally, you take the bow and you use it like this, right? And what am I supposed to pull the arrow like this and hope like heck I can hit my ass with it? I mean, technically, it's an impossibility. Now, a crossbow, you can just put it right up to your ass, but the bolt will probably come out your pelvis or somewhere else, which is stupid to do anyways. I'm not suicidal to go shoot my ass with a crossbow bolt. It's just, something that I would like to have, and so, sometimes the trigger is not just Chloe, but, other family members. Now I have Teddy that supports me and says, just rebuild your firearms or, other things. I mean, I've been meaning to sit down and write a letter, with all my appointments and stuff and talk to Tara about a couple of things that I'd like her to pick up for me in Oregon that's not video game related because games are a thing that makes me happy. Yet, she thinks they rot my mind. So, I think game books, strategy guides are the same. Rot my mind to help me beat the game. So that's a no-no. But, on other issues, I'm worried. I mean, literally, I love Tara and Corey dearly. I'm not talking bad about them at all. I'm just saying, when it comes to me, I'm an adult. I can make decisions too. But honestly, I've made poor decisions when it came to Chloe, and so I admit that. But with me, I gotta just bite the bullet. Bite the bullet, as they say, or give myself a kick in the ass to just get her ticket out of here. Because, as the doctor said, she wants to go back to a mental hospital, get meds, to get a job. And they said, it ain't gonna work. I mean, look, the doctor realized she signed her off to go get medicated, and she never got medicated. It was a waste of her time, waste of my time, and a waste of the entire hospital's time for almost 24 hours that she was there getting placed in a hospital, which, in the notes, the social worker was supposed to place her in a shelter and to help her get on her feet. Instead, she refused all services, which damaged herself, which now, the state doesn't really want to send her out to another hospital because what is she going to do? I mean, literally. I mean, she's got Medicaid. She can go to a basic doctor, and to get on disability, she has to have a primary care physician. She has to have a psychologist for DSHS. She's got to have a psychiatrist. She's got to have a nurse practitioner. She's going to have a whole team to monitor her. And that she thinks they're just there to milk the cash cow on herself. So, to me, I've just told her it's time to go because I can't stress enough with her basically having these problems. I mean, literally, in my opinion, it's not good. Literally, it is not good, and it won't be good. And, I'm not trying to be a little Chloe. It's just, when you have suffered a heart attack, you got to think about yourself, and frankly, I got to look out for myself, and that means spending a little more money than living on ramen. And et cetera, Now, if I drink black coffee, it's fine as long as I don't put sugar in it, and et cetera. And so, literally, I gotta look at the big picture. And so, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, share that with you all that, in this video that, I'm okay. I did suffer a heart attack. I'm just grateful I got through it. It's not something I want any of my enemies to have or my family. It's just you guys need to realize that, read labels, look at your liquor intake. I'm not talking just family. I'm talking with friends too. Everyone who's watching this. Look at your cigars. Think of how much damage it's doing to your heart. Same pipe tobacco. I mean, tobacco in general is not an alternative pill because of heart disease. So even if you smoke, I mean, it's not good. So, this morning, I'm going to take a bath. At least I had a shower at the hospital. But you get the idea, and I got to pinch a load. But yeah, I mean, literally, I got to cut out, change my diet, eat healthier, not stress, which means, one of the things I was told is if I don't want to do something, I don't need to do it. For example, Facebook, the memes I used to post, people used to post it pissed me off, like, did you do your research on this? No, I didn't. But leave me alone. My opinion is stating right there what I think. And if you're trying to change me because of Donald Trump or whatever, I mean, look at another issue for the stress, okay? Not just the drama. I have a lot of stress because basically, with Tara J and Gabby and Lexi and Vestara and Corey and Tara and Aya and Teddy, they all know that we've had the Secret Service on our door. Now, Chloe's always asking if they'd show up again. Well, if she keeps making threats, they'll show up again. That's all I'm going to say. The problem is, I'm stressing enough because I really don't want to deal with them. With my heart disease, I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with the FBI either. I don't want to deal with anyone if I don't have to. I just want to live a peaceful life without stress, and the stress would go away if Chloe left, literally. I mean, Chloe doesn't realize this. She thinks she can get a job and help support me, and it's not going to happen. It's a grandiose idea, which is part of borderline schizophrenia. So technically, but she's got the paranoid side of it where she thinks the government's out to get her. I mean, literally, I showed the video through the computer. The lady brought me a little computer, and I showed her the video. She said Chloe needed to be detained. Said the sheriff, or the police, I should say, let her go. Not the sheriff, the police. In Moses Lake, let her go. Yet they wanted involuntary me for too much intoxication. Yet I made the decision to leave, and they never pursued me. And yet, they basically said they arrested me, and they didn't. So they're in enough hot water as is. But this was stressing me out to no end too. So and I talked to a sheriff recently. The one guy came in, and he basically said, "Look, we checked your records through the state patrol. There's nothing. Zero. Just let it go." But my stress level was so high because of it, that Poppy even told me, you need to cut out your red meats. You gotta eat more fish. I don't like fish. I mean, halibut, yeah. Lobster is high in cholesterol, but you also is high in cholesterol for dipping the butter. It's like me eating king crab legs. It's high in cholesterol and yummy, but you still gotta dip it in, purified butter. And that's not healthy for you. So, you gotta look at, et cetera, on your diet. So, with me, I just thought I'd share that with you all, that I learned so much about diet and stress, how to relieve stress in gaming. Now, I like taking baths, so that's stress-free, but, Chloe needs to realize the heart attack also happened because she, I don't think she realizes the same questions answered and asked with no literal answer. I mean, literally, I'm on the preferred set of having a stroke because of the stress too, because, bad diet and the same questions. How do you, I usually ask Tara 20 or 30 questions. Usually it's stupid stuff, but at least it's stuff that, Tara can answer. Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do this? Do I do a video? Do I help you out? Do I come down and visit you? With Chloe, it's, am I going to have food stamps? Am I going to have Medicaid? Am I going to have my sex change? Am I going to get a job? Am I going to get, medicated? Am I going to get a job and be medicated? All this stuff, mental hospital help. And then she demands answers. Well, the demands alone is what stresses me out, puts the stress on the heart, which causes a heart attack. I mean, literally, am I going to eat next month if my food stamps are gone? I mean, these are things that happen, and these are things that causes me to basically have no answers. So you get the idea. So all of you out there, I'm alive and well. If I don't reply right away on Facebook, it's because I'm avoiding Facebook, because I don't want to answer any questions right now. I will post the link to you all to say to watch it so you guys can see the video. And, I'm sorry it's a little longer. I hope Tara watched all of it and understands, same with Corey, that I'm not talking negative towards any of you. You guys are badass people. I'm just saying, think of for once, I know Tara wants to eat healthier. Maybe it's time that she looks into a little, same with Teddy, and think about, what you're putting in your body that can trigger these. I mean, heart disease is the #1 killer in America. Now, EMS was, great the last time, but when I went in there, the nursing staff was just great. Same with the doctor. I mean, I've never seen the doctor change her tune in a second, And they don't want me going off island, but I have to see the heart doctors here soon. So they're setting me up with ferry tickets and cab service, so I don't have to ride the bus because that's stressing alone. Because I'm gonna walk here and get on there. Also, they're looking at a possibility of a power chair for me so I can get around. They don't really want me to. They want me to walk, but if getting up and down hills is a problem, they think a power chair might be good. The manual chairs are only being used because Chloe can push me. But if Chloe leaves like she's supposed to, then the power chair is what I'm going to need. So I'm going to have a scooter or a power chair that get me on and off the train with a lift and, get around that way, which I really don't want to do it. I want to be independent, but at the same time, I got to think that, for once, it's not good, and so I'm not healthy. I will make a post on Facebook eventually when I upload this video to my family, my inner circle, to let them know what happened. And so technically, I'm not feeling well, so I'm gonna go and use the bathroom and take a bath and relax and not go out today. Literally, I refuse to go out. Chloe, you went to bed late again, Skyrim time, so unless it's raining, which it is, from what I can tell from that boat over there and the grass, that it's the day that I'm staying in, and Chloe's been kind of mean to me anyways, by like go to bed, and it's like, when I got up and I said I don't feel good. She took me up there, and that's when they started the test and realized what's happened. So, now it's like go to bed, stay in bed, go to bed, don't do anything yet. All she wants to do is Skyrim, and that's what I'm doing on the Switch. At the same time, I just can't afford for her to tell me these things either. I mean, literally. As I told the doctor, I have stuff I gotta get done, and the doctor finally just said, look, told Chloe, Rita says no, you accept it. You don't go into a hissy fit little baby and throw a fit about what you want. Rita wants to get towels in the next few months, you let her get towels. She wants her underwear and socks, you let her get it. She wants to get a pair of shoes for two so they don't absorb water and rain boots, you let her get it. You don't basically throw a fit that you need shoes. If you don't have an income, then it's time for you to look at options. Whether you want to get a truck driver's license, drive a bus, commercial driver's license, or whatever. Just, they said that she's the problem. Look, they even told me I'm stupid thinking that the retro check would go to me after spending $20,000 on her. Family doesn't know this. I don't get much for myself, and so it's time for me to look after myself. I can't just be blind, and etc., So, literally, and so, the other thing is when I do get to the library when it's not raining, I will personally take care of my emails as well for layaways and stuff. I will take some time today to write a letter out, and it will get mailed, and I will personally be mailing it to Tara, letting her know what happened also, that I'm fine. So Team Court is probably going to be worried now to death. Same with I and Teddy, but I survived. It's just something that I got to live with the rest of my life and realize that it's not going to get any easier with Chloe around. So it makes it a lot easier to make the decision to get rid of her, which I want her out anyways because she's not getting better and everything she thinks is grandiose ideas. That should get her on disability, but it won't because she's self-diagnosed autistic, which they've looked over the record. She's been diagnosed with 9 severe mental illnesses, which is Gabby and Lexi and Sarah J, and everyone says which one. So technically we don't know, and until it gets fixed, no one knows. So time for me to have a bath and to relax the day away. Again, tonight's dinner is going to be a salad with a non-fat salad dressing. The other thing I wanted to share with you before I go take a dump is the state's looking into with the developmentally disabled and in-home care, a nurse that comes in or a maid to help clean because I can't do it right now. Physically, I can barely, get around, I can dress myself, but, basically, it's one that can help cook for me, do the cleaning, because I told them Chloe doesn't do any of it. The trigger was the mayonnaise and the mayonnaise that triggered it. The tuna was fine, it was the mayonnaise and the bread that triggered it. I thought it was indigestion, turns out it wasn't, because it was actually radiating up to my neck. and going down my arm. So that's where the trigger was. It said it wasn't indigestion. That's when I passed out after 3 nitros, which I'm supposed to have 911 take me up there. When I woke up, I was so fatigued and drained that I barely could get out of bed. So Chloe had to help me get in the chair and then, drag me up to the chair and then lock the door, and then off I went to the hospital where they took good care of me. So, basically, I just wanted to say, it's, between poor diet, my exercise is fine. They said that. It's just poor diet, stress, and etc. I even had the DCR talk to me, and Compass came by, the one lady, and, had words with her. Not bad words, just words, and, I apologized. I was trying to talk to someone that was important, and she kept calling me, and I finally snapped and said, "Who the F's calling me now?" And I hung up, and, literally in an anger and rage because I was trying to get a hold of someone, but, they told Chloe she keeps making threats, the government will show up again. She keeps making threats against family, the sheriff will come up. She makes threats against her own family, the sheriff will come up. So, it might be a coping mechanism, but the thing is, she can't do it. And that's what's stressing me. I've told her many times, don't do it. She won't listen. So, with that said, everyone, you please have a great, great day. Please, relax. Think about what I said. Try if you want to change. You want to change. If you don't, well, oh well. It's not my problem. I need to think about myself only. So, Tara, Corey, I'm sorry I can't get down there fast enough, but the vagina does look good. Everything's looking fine. I just need to rest. Mental hospital isn't for me. They said basically it wouldn't do me any good because Chloe's the problem. And Chloe's triggered all this, so technically, I didn't expect to end up, where I was. But I want to say I love both you, and I hope to hear from you, Tara, via letter. Maybe you can write me and explain your little situation, and so I don't have to dwell on it, but I don't want you dwelling on my situation of this stuff. I do want some advice from you, Tara, on purchases that I need to do, as well as get your opinion on where I should ship Chloe. Because I cannot have her here because, it's getting to the point where I just can't stand the same questions and the fact that now Kate wants to bring in some extra help for me and everything else. She's unhappy. She doesn't want, it'll take the lady probably about a good 2 weeks to clean this place so she's constant and as well as taking care of me because, Chloe's room's messy. This office needs to be cleaned up and resorted and, like I said, what I need to be done, so we aren't going to be infected, and etc. Literally, as I said in my videos, in message, I lost the cake pan because Chloe didn't want to clean moldy pork chops, so she threw the entire glass cake pan. Another thing is, she didn't want to take the pot outside to dump the noodles that I have left from making noodles, so she dumped in the toilet. That caused problems for like 3 weeks, which I finally broke down with Brita, Drano Gel Max, Mr. Plumber. I use every drain cleaner you can do. I even use that professional zip stuff or Zap or whatever it's called. So, it took a lot of money to unclog the toilet. So to me, I'm just kind of skeptical, and I can't keep forking money out from phone replacements and pan replacements and, etc. I need to live by myself, and, again, for all of you, I will be sending links up to Terra soon so I can actually get, links to get, housing, down there close to her. Because I know she's worried about me, and she's going to probably be more worried about me now than anything, And by the way, the weird headache right around here, it's not a migraine, so they said it could go away in time, but, it's the stress. So I need to not stress. So this video is almost 1 hour and 45 minutes, so please subscribe, please post comments, please leave feedback, suggestions, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification for new content. Thanks for watching, everyone, and enjoy every puff.